Welcome back everybody to Zlatan's Fight Picks. Today we will be going over the fight card for UFC 310, Pantoja versus Asakura. So let's start. As usual, we will go over the fights from the prelims, the early prelims, and moving on to the main card. First fight of the night, Kennedy Nzechukwu. This one's a really hard one. Everyone kind of says a little different. Let me try spot. Nzechukwu. Kennedy Nzechukwu. We'll call him Kennedy versus Lukasz Brzeski. Well, that's easier for me from my end of the world. Kennedy is 6'5", 83-inch reach, 13 wins, 5 losses, 0 draws, 32 years old. Lukasz Brzeski, 6'4", 78-inch reach, 9 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw, 32 years old. Same age. They've been trying to find a place for Kennedy. Now he's fighting at heavyweight. The guy's got a lot of physical attributes. That's, beat Alberg in this huge upset way back in the day. So I think they're kind of setting this fight up for this guy. Brzeski is kind of lower end heavyweight. Definitely not a big guy. He's tall, but he's not heavy. He seems like he's got a lot of volume and not a lot of power. He's not really good on the ground, although he has been working on his takedown and his get-up defense. He's not a threat to take anyone down. And I think Kennedy's going to be the one who's going to be threatening takedowns. If anything, he's got pretty good submissions as well. You know what? I was looking for a reason to bet against Kennedy last time he fought against St. Preux, and he lost a split decision. It just goes to show the guy just doesn't have the mental focus for a lot of these fights. But he was fighting St. Preux, and St. Preux was an ex-champion, so he found a way to win. So as much as I wanted to bet on Brzeski at plus 400, which still could be probably the better bet, but he is a low-level heavyweight. He's been getting knocked out. Kennedy's going to be the pick. He should win this. It's more of a mental game that Kennedy has got to win, because I think he's going to be the faster guy in there. He's going to be able to fight from distance. As long as he has corrected a few things, he should win this. I don't think it's going to go the distance. I have a feeling he's going to win by submission. Moving on to the next fight, Clay Guida versus Chase Hooper. Clay Guida, 5'7", 70-inch reach. 38 wins, 21 losses, 42 years old. Chase Hooper, 6'1", 74-inch reach, 14 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, 25 years old. A huge age difference. Clay Guida way past his prime. Chase Hooper is like a minus 1,300. He should never be minus 1,300 against anybody, but with a huge size difference, huge age difference. Chase Hooper is still really talented on the ground. Clay Guida has to take this to the ground. He's playing into Chase Hooper's strengths. This is why it's such a mismatch as far as the odds, because literally Clay Guida, his strengths are playing into Hooper's strengths. And I mean, if Clay Guida is going to keep coming at him with wrestling, he could very well get submitted in this. So it's pretty straightforward. Clay Guida, 42 years old, legend, but he's not going to beat Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper is not even worth the bet. Would you take a chance on Clay Guida by getting a lucky knockout? Maybe. I mean, what else? Clay Guida, even if he out wrestles Hooper, he'll be on the ground with him where he's very dangerous. Yeah, stay away from this fight. I mean, it'll be entertaining somewhat to watch, but I mean, just because of curiosity, it's kind of like an oddity. But Hooper should win this. And at minus 1,300, it's funny because Hooper, I mean, he's not a contender of any type. Moving on, Michael Chiesa versus Max Griffin. Michael Chiesa, 6'1", 75.5-inch reach, 19 wins, 7 losses, 36 years old. Max Griffin, 5'11", 76-inch reach, 20 wins, 10 losses, 39 years old. Michael Chiesa is the younger guy. Griffin is definitely showing his age. He's getting a little older. But you know what? Out of the two guys, Griffin still looks like he's serious. I think Chiesa is just going in there, collecting some paychecks and having some fun. So yeah, right now Chiesa is the favorite, slight favorite. It's a pick'em. But on certain odds, he is a slight favorite. But looking at this fight, you got Chiesa who wants to take Griffin to the ground. Griffin's got good takedown defense. Griffin's never been submitted. It'll stay on the feet. Griffin's still pretty good, I'd say the better striker. I'm going to go Griffin, 39 years old. Granted, he looks like he might be over the hill. I don't think Chiesa's mind is in it. I don't think his heart's in it. It's kind of a weird fight. It's going to be entertaining, nostalgia. These guys have been fighting for a long time. They still got name value, but Max Griffin's going to be the pick. Cody Durden versus Joshua Van. Cody Durden, 5'7", 67-inch reach, 17 wins, 6 losses, 1 draw, 33 years old. Joshua Van, 5'5", 65-inch reach, 11 wins, 2 losses, 23 years old. Joshua Van, the guy's a stud. He's only 23 years old. He's done great things already as far as I see it. Like his improvements inside the octagon have been huge. From when he first got in, he was strictly a boxer. He's worked on his ground game. He's got some takedowns, got great takedown defense, can get back up. He's well-rounded. He's tough. He's got, great boxing, of course. Very cerebral. I think he's a very smart fighter. He's going to go up against a veteran. Cody Durden's fighting, he's on all cylinders right now. He's always been underestimated. I think this is the case. He's an underdog here. I think he's being underestimated again. He's really tough. He's very durable. He does start off fast. He does fade in the end, opposite of Joshua Van, starting off slow, having a strong finish. You went back and forth on this one. Most people are taking Joshua Van. I'm going to pick Cody Durden. I think Cody Durden, he's a dog, and he's going to keep going after it. It's going to be a grinding fight. I don't think Van's going to knock Durden out. I think he can wear on him. I think the first 2 rounds are going to go to Durden. I think Van's going to win the 3rd round. It's going to be one of those fights. I don't think anybody's going to get anyone finished here. I think Durden's going to win this and pull this one off. It's my underdog play here. Durden's, he's the kind of guy that just surprises everybody. So I think Joshua Van has got plenty of room to grow. I think it's going to be a learning experience. I think at 23 years old, we're not going to expect the world from him. I think he's going to continually improve. I think Durden's really hungry. He's got a good mental game. So going to be the pick. It's going to be a close fight, but yeah. Moving on, Chris Weidman versus Eric Anders. This is the main early prelim fight. This is supposed to be on a last fight, 309 was it, or something like that? And then they canceled it, so they kind of moved it to here. I think Eric Anders is the one who postponed it. Something happened. So Chris Weidman, 6'2", 78-inch reach, 16 wins, 7 losses, 0 draw, 40 years old. Eric Anders, 6'1", 75-inch reach, 16 wins, 8 losses, 37 years old. Generally we think of Eric Anders, much more muscular, very powerful. But I actually think Chris Weidman is going to be the bigger guy in there. Chris Weidman's fought the way better competition. He's reached much higher levels than Anders. He is 3 years older. I one of them might be retiring that night. You don't know. I think Weidman is the pick for me. I just think he has had a much higher ceiling, and even though he's not as good as he used to be, he's still better than Eric Anders. So Eric Anders had a lower ceiling, and he's younger, and he slipped maybe not as far as Weidman, but Weidman had a lot of room to slip because he was a champ at one time. Weidman's going to be the pick on this one. Moving on. Prelims. Randy Brown versus Brian Battle. I'm looking forward to seeing this fight. This is going to be a lot of fun. Randy Brown, 6'3", 78-inch reach, 19 wins, 5 losses, 34 years old. Brian Battle, 6'1", 77-inch reach, 12 wins, 2 losses, 30 years old. I really like Brian Battle. I think he's tough. I think he's durable. I think he takes way too many shots. He seems to be absorbing it well, but that's the one thing that I would say he's in danger is possibly one of these times getting knocked out. And Randy Brown's long enough and throws well enough that he could actually catch him. But the fact is, Battle's got this guy beat everywhere. Brown's long, lanky, and he can fight on the outside. And as long as he keeps everybody on the outside and at the end of his punches, he's going to win. He's like, how can I put it? You know, like a house of cards. You know, as long as all those thin little cards are perfectly aligned, everything's going to hold. The structure will hold. But I think the stronger guy is going to be Battle. I think he's going to have to go through maybe, you know, a punch or two. He's got to be careful. Again, he keeps his head on the center line. It takes 2 minutes. That's the only thing I'm worried about. He takes too much punishment. But he's the kind of guy that once he gets hurt, he can get back up. Randy Brown, once he gets hurt, he's done. He's not going to come back. So Brian Battle is going to be the pick. I think he's just going to be too tough for Randy Brown. Randy Brown's got a lot of skills. Randy Brown can't take a punch, and when he gets a lot of pressure, and if he gets hurt, he's not going to recover. So Brian Battle is going to be the pick. I don't think this is going 3 rounds. Someone's getting finished. I think Battle is going to be the one finishing Randy Brown, probably by KO. Moving on. Morsov Evloev versus Aljamain Sterling. Morsov Evloev, 5'7", 72.5-inch reach, 18 wins, 0 losses, 0 draw, 30 years old. Aljamain Sterling, 5'7", 71-inch reach, 24 wins, 4 losses, 35 years old. Aljamain Sterling is fighting in an upper weight class. He no longer is going to have that huge size advantage. I mean, Evloev is not even like a really big guy for this division. He's very strong and very powerful, but not really tall. He's not huge for that division. So, and they're going to be about the same size. Evloev is tough. He's strong. Sterling, you know, again, you know, he's a little chinny. He's good on the ground. He is strong. He's got good leverage. He's got good moves. He's okay striker from the outside. But Evloev, he can absorb some of the punishment. He can close the distance, and you're going to see a power difference with Evloev striking as opposed to Sterling striking. And as far as Evloev's taken people to the ground, he's been in many situations where he's almost been submitted, and he seems to fight through it. I think it's going to be the same thing here with Sterling. Evloev is going to be the pick. High degree of confidence on that one. Yeah, Sterling's best days are past him, even though he's only 35. Moving on, Vicente Luque versus Themba Gorimbo. Vicente Luque is 5'11", 75.5-inch reach, 22 wins, 10 losses, 1 draw, 33 years old. Themba Gorimbo, 6'1", 77-inch reach, 14 wins, 4 losses, 33 years old. Same age. Vicente Luque's been through the ringer. This guy, you know, he's a warrior. He's taken so much punishment. He even had to take a couple years off because his brain bleeding. Everyone knows about that. Then you got Themba Gorimbo, who's seems like he's really taking his skills to the next level. But if you ever look, I mean, who did he beat? He beat Nico Price, and not to say Nico Price is bad, but he is, you know, at the end of his career kind of thing. So they're really kind of pushing this guy along with kind of like the low-hanging fruit. Now they go Vicente Luque after that, you know, really bad performance. Last fight, who did he fight again? He fought Buckley. He didn't look good at all. But then again, you know what? You got to think, who's Buckley? Buckley's a possible contender. Vicente Luque is contender. So if you're going to be fading Gorimbo, you might as well be fading them with Luque. Even though Luque didn't look good against Buckley, and he looked really tentative with Dos Anjos. You know, it looked like he was changing his fight, you know, taking things more to the ground and everything else, but he's pretty talented on the ground. I mean, I could see Gorimbo having a sloppy takedown and getting submitted in this one. So, you know, as much as people are really high on Gorimbo, maybe you shouldn't listen to me because I've been fading this guy forever. So I'm going to fade him again. You know, I'm going to go with Luque. He didn't look great last fight. He looked tentative the fight before. He's only 33 years old. Gorimbo is definitely going to have a ceiling. I think he's coming close to a ceiling. So he is the favorite. Vicente Luque is the underdog. I like him. I'm a fan. It'd be nice to cheer for him. I'm going to pick him to win this fight. It's going to be a close fight. Vicente Luque to win. Dominic Reyes versus Anthony Smith. Dominic Reyes, 6'4", 77-inch reach, 15 wins, 4 losses, 34 years old. Anthony Smith, 6'4", 76-inch reach, 38 wins, 20 losses, 36 years old. Reyes, he's not going to get taken to the ground. He's got pretty good takedown defense. Anthony Smith needs to take this to the ground. I think Dominic Reyes is going to be the more dangerous guy on the feet. Everybody knows what's the problem with Reyes? He's getting caught with a punch. But I got to admit, Anthony Smith hasn't been taking the punches well either. Even though he's been in the fight not getting knocked out, a couple of good punches and he just turns into a zombie and just starts eating punches the whole fights. I think that Reyes is going to eventually find the punch and end up KOing Smith in this fight. I don't think Smith's going to find the knockout punch against Reyes. And as far as the battle on the feet, Reyes is going to have the better strikes, the more powerful strikes. I think a couple of punches into this, it's going to be almost over. So Reyes by KO, yeah. Main card. Nate Landwehr versus Doo-Ho Choi. Nate Landwehr, 5'9", 72-inch reach, 18 wins, 5 losses, 36 years old. Doo-Ho Choi, 5'10", 70-inch reach, 15 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, 33 years old. I went back and forth on this one. You know, I was going to go Landwehr. I was thinking about taking Choi. He's the underdog. He's a little younger. Landwehr is getting a little older. I think he's starting to fade just a little bit. He's getting hurt a lot. He does recover. He does come back, and he does win when he comes back. At some point, that's not going to happen. He's 36 years old. We don't know when that's going to happen. Doo-Ho Choi's fast punches, you know, powerful punches. He can knock somebody down, but he has been knocked down and KO'd before as well. He's working on his ground game. Nate Landwehr can take somebody to the ground. Doo-Ho Choi's been working on his ground game. He's getting pretty good. Tried a lot of guillotines the last fight. So I think that this is going to be a close fight. I don't blame anybody from taking either one of these guys. Who did Doo-Ho Choi fight last time? Oh yeah, was it Algio? He kept putting him in his guillotines, and they were pretty tight guillotines. So Nate Landwehr's definitely got to be careful. But if someone's going to take a shot and come back, it's going to be Landwehr. So in this brawl, yes, I could see Landwehr getting hurt. I can't see Landwehr getting finished. Even though Doo-Ho Choi is powerful and he can finish a lot of people, Landwehr hasn't been finished. But I don't like the way necessarily he looked against Ige. But Ige is a high-level guy and much higher than Choi. Kind of went back and forth on this one. I'm going to land on Landwehr to win this. It's going to be a decision. It's going to be entertaining, but it's going to be a sweat. If you pick either guy, it's going to be a sweat. So I'm going to go with Landwehr in this one. You know, 36 years old. I'm a little hesitant because of that and how many times he has been getting dropped. But he's also getting dropped by, like, Ige. Yeah. Going to go with Landwehr. Moving on, Bryce Mitchell versus Kron Gracie. Bryce Mitchell, 5'10", 70-inch reach, 16 wins, 3 losses, 30 years old. Kron Gracie, 5'9", 70-inch reach, 5 wins, 2 losses, 36 years old. You know, and again, this is a clash of styles. Like, it was like the Hooper and the Guida fight. You know, Bryce Mitchell wants to take you to the ground. Kron Gracie's really dangerous on the ground. So he's got to stay safe, you know. And as long as he stays safe, Kron Gracie's 36 years old. He doesn't look that good. Bryce Mitchell's fought the higher level guys. He could, you know what, I think Bryce Mitchell can keep this on the feet and knock this guy out. So that will be his path to victory. Even though Bryce Mitchell's not a great striker, I don't think Kron Gracie's a great striker. I think every time Mitchell's going to take this guy down, you're going to be sweating because Gracie, his only path to victory is submission. But Mitchell's been pretty strong. Seems like he can handle himself down there. You know, minus 900 is not even worth the bet, but he's going to be the pick. Moving on, Cyril Gane versus Alexander Volkov. Cyril Gane, 6'4", 81-inch reach, 12 wins, 2 losses, 34 years old. Alexander Volkov, 6'7", 80-inch reach, 38 wins, 10 losses, 36 years old. Volkov's coming to the end of his career. I don't think he's really slipping. I think he's actually improving. He's at a peak form. He's definitely worked the last little bit of his game, which is the ground game. He's been taking guys down. He's been fighting off takedowns. He lost a couple times because of takedowns. So, you know, when was that? Blades beat him because of takedowns. Who else? What's that English guy's name? Who else? Blades beat him because takedowns. Aspinall beat him with a submission. So he seems like he's really improved his game as far as that goes. These guys already fought. You know, it was actually pretty close on the stats. It was a pretty close fight. You know, it's one of those fights. It's still going to be close. We know Volkov has improved, but Gans is. I think the speed is still going to be there. Where Gans going to fight him from the outside and pick his shots and just outpoint Volkov. I try to find a reason to bet Volkov, and I think if he's improved enough, he could beat Gane because it was a close fight the first time. But I just don't know if he can improve his speed, and I don't know if there's a path to victory if Gane's going to have the same speed advantage, apart from maybe pressuring him a little more. And I don't know if that's going to happen because people try to pressure Gane. The only guy who's really succeeded is John Jones. So, I mean, there is a path to victory where, you know, can Volkov close the distance? I mean, that's not really his style, is closing the distance and getting too close. I mean, he is the longer, taller fighter. I can't see it playing out a different way. I'm going to go with Gane on this one. It's going to be a close fight. It's going to be good. Nothing's going to happen. It's going to be a decision. Moving on, Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Ian Machado Gary. Shavkat Rakhmonov, 6'7", 77-inch reach, 18 wins, 0 losses, 30 years old. Machado, Ian Gary, 6'3", 74.5-inch reach, 15 wins, 0 draws, 20. Both in their prime. They're undefeated. I mean, who doesn't want to bet against Gary, right? But the guy's talented. But here's the thing: is, you know, he is talented, but he's also been getting dropped. So he doesn't have the best chin. Rakhmonov, he does like get into brawls a little too much, and he has been stung but never hurt or knocked down. So this guy's super tough. Gary, you know what? He's tough, but he's not that tough. You see him get dropped even by Song. What's his name? Song Kanan. So I'm definitely not going to go with Ian Machado Gary, even though he is talented. Shavkat's got to be careful. I think he can absorb a punch, but with 3 rounds, I mean, he can get stung, he can lose a round. It's going to be close, and I think Shavkat likes to have too many wars. He just goes in there and he just brawls. And you got Machado Gary, who fights much more cerebral from the outside, in and out. So this could be a fight that Gary could win, and not necessarily by KO, but just being smart and fighting from the outside and landing a little more, and the judges giving it to Gary. But Rakhmonov is going to be the pick. The guy, I think he's much tougher than Gary, and when push comes to shove, you know, this guy's going to survive the punches, and I don't think Gary's going to survive the punches. I think probably a club and sub is in order for Rakhmonov. Moving on, Alexander Pantoja versus Kai Asakura. Alexander Pantoja, 5'5", 67.5-inch reach, 28 wins, 5 losses, 34 years old. Kai Asakura, 5'8", 69-inch reach, 21 wins, 4 losses, 31 years old. All right, here's the deal. I don't know who this Asakura guy is. You know, I'm looking at it, I'm going, everyone says he's a great fighter, very powerful punches and everything else. I go, all I know is Pantoja's beaten everybody. And as a matter of fact, he beat everybody, and I think he's beat some guys twice. So he's 34 years old, he's 5'5". The guy seems like in his prime. I mean, can he get KO'd? Maybe. He's been absorbing all the shots. Is this guy some super special prospect? Maybe. He just gets thrown into UFC in a title match. I just think he gets thrown into this position, not because he's so good, but who else is going to fight Pantoja? He beat everybody. So, nevertheless, I'm going to pick Pantoja. So, maybe don't even listen to this pick, but I can't see Pantoja losing. I think this is his title for a few more years, you know, before he gets knocked off. I don't know. We'll see how good Asakura is. I mean, what better test to see where you're at than fighting the champ? So right then you'll know. If it's a close fight, you know, he can beat a lot of guys just below that. If it's not a close fight, well, he still might be able to beat a lot of guys below that. We'll see. So not a high degree of confidence. Like mid, I have a high degree of confidence in Pantoja, just that I don't know very much about Asakura. So it's kind of mid-level confidence. I really still like Pantoja. The guy's great on the ground, you know, great for his submission. Submitted guys that are hard to submit. This guy's a striker. I don't think he's got a great ground game. I think if Pantoja can take him down, this guy's in trouble. I think this guy's in trouble. Nevertheless, that's it. Let's go over the board real quick. Again, not financial advice. Bet only what you can afford to lose. So, as usual, I go from most confident to least confident. You know, as we get further down here, everyone's always, well, you're picking these guys. Well, I am picking them because I have to make a pick. But as you get closer to here, I mean, these fights are kind of coin tosses and longer shots. These are the more guys that are going to be a high degree of confidence. Not necessarily bettable either. Chase Hooper, minus 1,300, not bettable, should win. Mitchell, minus 900, not bettable, he should win. Evloev is bettable, he definitely should win. I really don't see Sterling beating Evloev. So, Battle, I like Battle. He's been making a lot of great improvements. You know, and Randy Brown, yeah, he's dangerous from the outside. He's a quick striker. He's got good kicks. Yeah, this guy's got a much higher ceiling. He's at that point where he's going to take it to the top 15 now. Rachmanov, it's going to be too tough for Gary. Gary's good, he's technical, but Rachmanov hits him. It's going to be a problem for him. Gone is going to be too fast. You know, every time I have a guy here, these are the guys who I considered betting as an underdog. I know he's improved. I think the speed difference is still going to win it for Gone. Pantoja, I mean, mid-level confidence, just because I don't know as much about the other guy, but I know he's really good, and he's at the top of his game right now. Nzechukwu versus Brzezinski. I've considered betting on Brzezinski, not because he's so good, but this guy is, man, he's just so unpredictable. I just, you know, last time I bet on him, I was so disappointed, not against Barnett, but against St. Preux. And yeah, I just don't like his mental game in these fights. So he should beat this guy, right? But you never know. Reyes, Anthony Smith, definitely over the hill. Should win. Landwehr over Choi, definitely considering Choi. But at the end, I'm going to pick Landwehr. I think he's going to win a really close brawl. Griffin, low-level confidence, kind of a pick-em fight. I think he's just got more left who he wants to fight. I think Chiesa is just kind of there for the paychecks and hanging out. Weidman, much higher ceiling than Anders. I'm going to have to go with him. Durden, everyone's picking Van. He is an underdog. I just think that Durden's going to surprise some people. He's a dog in there. He's not going to quit. He's not going to stop. And I think he's going to pull this one out. Luque, again, been fading Garimbo. Maybe you don't want to follow me on this one. Very, very low-level confidence. I think Luque is going to be able to pull this one off. I think he's going to come back and redeem himself with his last outing. Again, take what you can from this, add it to your own research and see what you agree and you don't agree with, and let me know. All right, we got this out just on late Thursday. So thank you very much for joining me. Please leave a comment in the comment section, see what you agree with, what you don't agree with. There's a few guys that I'd love to hear from in the comment section. Hit like if you like the video. Subscribe if you want to be notified when the next video is coming out. Like I said, for now, I'm just doing mostly the main cards, the main pay-per-view cards, with additionally some other smaller cards when I have time. Otherwise, thanks very much for joining me. Good luck in your picks, and we will see you next time.